guys, on today's episode I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I was able to avoid a certain loss in the market today that would have cost me 850,000 naira trading GBPUSD. I've come to understand that many people make YouTube videos about how they make a lot of money in the market, thousands of dollars, thousands of naira, but no one actually talks about how he or she was able to avoid certain trades that would have led them to a loss.
In this very interesting video, I'm going to walk you guys on my chart right here, how I was able to avoid today's loss on GBPUSD. I would have taken a loss of 850,000 naira today in the trading GBPUSD, but because of certain occurrences on the chart, I decided to leave my trade. I did not take my trade today. As well as my community members, I gave them an instruction not to take on the trades yet because I have not seen my proper confirmations on the chart to be able to take on that trade for today. So I'll be showing you guys on the charts right now. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate too on the chart because this is the signal I am trying to focus on to know what the price is going to do. Then I can be able to know whether I'm going to hop in, I'm going to be able to stay on the trade or leave the trade at all. So let's go to the chart now and let me show you guys how I was able to do that with just simple confirmations on the chart. Checking on my chart screen here, all right, you can see clearly that what we have here is a very good uptrend from here. I see the price made a movement from here, so we have a very good uptrend from this point here. This is the first touch, here's the second touch. Then price created this bullish movement here and started retracing. So now when I came to the chart this morning, one thing was on my mind. So what I was looking out for was just to spot an entry in the market. Then I looked at this point here, we have a form of bearish movement from this point here, and then again this point here. All right, so looking at this point here, we can see that there was a form of breakout right here. Now technically, looking at this chart, what will come to your mind is looking for a retracement to catch a buy, right? Okay, so that was what I was actually waiting for. Then I then came down to my lower time frame to see if I can be able to spot any entry in the market. I had to take these markups on the chart. If you watch closely, like this is a live chart, a real time chart. All right, so from the lower time frame, this is 15-minute time frame. As a day trader, I work with just 3 time frames, 4 hour, 1 hour, and I get to 15 minutes to pick my entries. All right, so coming down to the 15-minute time frame now, I can see that I have some sort of bullish movement right here. From this point, this is the point of inception for the trend line that was formed right here. So now market moved from this point here, had our first touch, second touch, and at this point we had the break of trend line. If you watch closely, we had a break of trend line. This was the breakout that happened that was signaling a buy for us. Now we had a break of trend line here. Now we all know what a break of trend line implies when it comes to forex trading. Simply means we're going to have a retracement down to the nearest support available when the break of trend line occurs. But then I came to my chart and I saw that break of trend line very, very late, so I couldn't get in. So what I did was I sent out the signal to the community for them to take that particular sell, that money. This was the signal I sent. So this was from the 15-minute time frame, of which I was able to figure out a sell signal to send out to the community. Now I was waiting for price to just come kiss this wick here, then sell off from that point. That was my initial analysis about the market for a sell. You can see that right there. Going back to the chart, as that happened, I had a candle closure below that trend line. That was okay for me to take the sell. But I was waiting for the 1 hour candle closure because that's where I get my proper confirmation for. I wait for a 1 hour candle closure. Now, the first candle on the 1 hour closed right above the trend line, telling me that buyers were still in the market. All right, so I didn't want to take the risk of hopping in at that point. I waited for the second candle on the 1 hour to print and tell me what to do. All right, then the candle came down with a very, very bearish momentum, a very good bearish momentum to the downside. Now, coming down with this bearish momentum now, there's no how I can just start riding with this very bearish momentum without this candle closing for me to be able to know how to get it. So now when this candle broke this trend line to the downside, there was a bearish confirmation that the sell was on. Okay, so that's how I was able to give out that particular trade signal for a sell on the group. But then when this next candle printed, this one right here, this was some kind of indecision in the market. They did not know whether the sellers should continue, whether the buy should happen at that point, because we have, if you watch, I have another block right here. All right, if you come to the 4 hour time frame, Now you see, we have a long hammer rejection from here. So I was expecting the market, if it was going to buy from that point, because you see here we have a break of trend line. I was expecting maybe this was the returns of this previous break of trend line here. Then my market will just move from here to the upside in this form. That's why I said they should cancel the sell, because of this particular candlestick that closed here on the 1 hour. But then the sell still what happens. It happens sometimes. You don't always have to catch all the moves in the market. But then that happening alone, I was okay with it. I didn't panic. I was not looking for a buy. Now the next buy point for me to catch was at this point right here. Just at this point right here. But then when this bearish candle on the 1 hour dropped to this level here, the momentum at which this candle dropped was very, very huge. So that gave me a signal that the sellers are still in the market. All right. If you go down to 15 minutes time frame, there was some form of confirmation here that the buy was going to happen here. But this right here was a fake out. Now, if you are not patient enough to wait for extra confirmations on the chart, you will fall for this trap right here, and definitely it's going to hit your stop loss. All right. So me trying to avoid that was waiting on an extra confirmation. I was waiting on this candle closure here, this particular candle here for it to close, so I can know what to do if I'm going to take the trade or not. This candle closing was going to be a news release for us. If you see here, you can see that we have a USD news release here. And the news coming out was bad for USD. All right. Now, if you go to DXY, this was where I made my markup for DXY. Now, price tapped into this previous zone that it came to test this week here and started rejecting on the 15 minutes time frame. We have a shooting star right there. So me seeing this shooting star now, I know that the buy for GBPUSD was looming, but then I am expecting some form of liquidity grab this particular zone to be able to like take out the bias that was at this level here. So I was expecting that to happen. That's why I did not get in at that point. And if I had gotten in at this point with the 20 pips stop, I would have lost 850,000 naira today. So, but then I told the community members that they should wait. They should not get in on this trade yet, because the confirmations wasn't really clear enough for us to be able to take that particular buy from that point. This was a video I made. I said everybody should just keep waiting. So we sit tight and watch out for new session for what price does. The buys will produce a more risk to reward for us, and that is why I'm taking the buy. All right. Then I kept dropping videos for them, and I was giving them a detailed explanation. I said, guys, I'm not getting any confirmations to go in for a buy yet. So until that happens, we won't take any trades. We'll sit on our hands and wait. Remember, trading is all about 80% patience, 20% execution. So you don't have to just chase the market. Allow the market come to you. All right. That's always how I approach this market. I don't chase the market. I wait for the market to come to my entry, and I get those confirmations to be able to take a buy at that point. If I don't get those confirmations, I am not taking that trade. That is me. All right. I am so disciplined to that. So now, this happening at this point, I would have lost 850,000 naira. But I was being smart enough to know that the market wasn't going to buy from that point. With that candle closure on the 1 hour, I always wait for a candle closure on the 1 hour. So if a candle closure on the 1 hour is not giving me what I need to see in the market, I am staying off. But if a candle closure on the 1 hour is giving me what I need to see, I am taking that trade. All right. You see right here, market didn't get to my entry. Then with this hammer printed here, I told them immediately that I should get out of the trade, because I'm not going to take that trade. That's why I did not take this sell. I waited for the buy. But the buy again, getting to this zone again, it did not happen the way I wanted. We stayed off. So that was how I was able to save 850,000 naira today trying to trade GBPUSD. And also my community members, nobody had a loss. All right. So now we are waiting for a buy. Now price has come back to this zone here, to tap this zone. It's giving us a lot of trading at this point. So from this point here, we might be taking a buy. I already sent out the signal. I said that they should just one lot size yet. So guys, if you're not in our Telegram channel, there's a link in the description. Just check there. That will direct you to our Telegram community, where you can be able to take on trades too with us.
So guys, that's exactly what I did to avoid a loss of 850 naira today trading GBPUSD. You know, most of the times we have to sit on our hands and wait for these trade setups to play out perfectly before we can hop on these trades. Trading is 80% patience and 20% execution. You don't forget that. Your work as a trader to be able to control your losses, so you don't go into a huge drawdown, because once you go into a huge drawdown, it's going to affect your psychology, and once your psychology is being affected, trust me, it's going to tell on your trades in the financial market. If you want to be a part of our community, check the link in the description. That will lead you straight up to a Telegram community that will share free trade signals. And also, if you like this kind of videos, I want me to bring out this kind of content from time to time, guys, all you have to do is just motivate me by liking this video right now as you have watched it, and don't forget to share this video to your friends who might want to this knowledge, and also subscribing to my YouTube channel so that we can be able to be putting out this kind of content from time to time. I hope to see you in my next video, guys. Peace.